Yeah, I just have to change the video.
Okay.
I think. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees, which includes a public hearing tonight. We'll start off with the pledge. Would everybody stand, face the flag, and follow me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Call the roll. Deputy Mayor Lindsay.
Present.
Trustee Turner.
Present.
Trustee Scherer is absent, as is Trustee Tenari. All right, the first thing we have on the agenda is the public hearing with respect to the proposed local law about unattended dogs. To begin the public hearing, I will read the notice that was published in the Times Herald Record or the Record Online sometime back in March. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the Village Board of the Village of Tuxedo Park, Orange County, New York, on May 21st, 2026, or as soon thereafter as can be heard at the Village of Tuxedo Park Village Hall, 80 Laurelard Road, Tuxedo Park, New York, 10987, to consider the adoption of a local law about unattended dogs. Said local law will be available for review in the office of the village clerk, 80 Laurelard Road, Tuxedo Park, New York, and may be examined anytime after March 23rd of 2026 by any interested party between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. by order of the village board. There are copies of the proposed local law on that table with the chocolate chip cookies, which everyone is welcome to. I make a motion that we open the public hearing with respect to the amendments to the village code, which would prohibit unattended dogs from roaming throughout the village. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Turner. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The public hearing means that anybody who's here in public, and we'll start with the room, can comment and give their opinion with respect to the proposed local law, how they feel about it generally. There will be another opportunity for public comment once the public hearing is closed as part of the regular meeting. So any comments you might want to make right now have to relate to the issue of the proposed law with respect to unattended dogs. Is there anybody in the room who would like to speak? Seeing no hands up, is there anybody on Zoom who would like to comment? I see Mr. Buell, you've got your hand up, so you have the floor, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Great. I wanted to say a couple of things about it. I am for the law. I know that it is disconcerting for some people to be walking themselves and have a loose dog come to them or near them. That's not something that bothers me personally, but I can see that it bothers somebody who would feel that way. But what I consider to be a problem is that I walk my dog, my two little dogs regularly, and a loose dog that perhaps attacks them or starts a barking fight that turns into something worse is something I would very much like to avoid. And the only way to do so, have a protection against that, is to have the other owner available to their dog to make sure that, as I will be making sure to my dog, which would be on a leash, that their dog is also somewhat taken care of, and therefore it isn't liable to explode into something that neither of us would want. I love dogs. I grew up in an area where dogs went free because it was country-ish and there was a lot of open land. Such is not the case now in Tuxedo Park. And I think the requirement that owners be in the area of their dog when when they're out with their dog is something that's a reasonable compromise between leash laws of cities and openness of countries.
Thank you, Mr. Buell. Appreciate your comments on the proposed law. Mr. Guazzoni, you're up next.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I am very much a lover of animals and especially dogs, and I'm viewing this leash law on the side of the dog where, you know, any dog is pretty much like a 5-year-old toddler, and I wouldn't leave my 5-year-old toddler roaming the streets, you know, the roads of Tuxedo Park alone. I remember some 5-7 years ago when you know, one of the dogs that was roaming alone got hit by the trailer of one of these landscapers, and unfortunately was killed, and I had to pick it up and take it to its owner. So they are not really aware of the traffic patterns, and you know, just for the sake of the dog, you know, if a dog is fine if it's in the line of sight of the owner and it can roam free then, but if the owner's not around, it's very problematic. Some 3 weeks ago, a group of 6 coyotes ate the dog of one of my friends. So the dog, you know, the coyotes tease the dog chases them into the woods, and then the other 5 attack him. And even though it's a strong dog, it stands no chance on 5 against 1. So it's really not fair to the dogs to leave them roaming around. So I'm very much in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guazzoni. Anyone else online wish to make a comment on the proposed local law? Seeing none, we want the entire board to consider this issue, as there are 3 of us here. 2 board members were missing. One of them is out of the country. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make a motion to continue the public hearing to June's meeting. This will allow for additional public comment, and we will continue the public hearing, and perhaps at the June meeting we will actually vote on a resolution to amend the local law with respect to unattended dogs. So I make a motion that we continue the public hearing to the June regular meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by the deputy mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you very much. I now make a motion to adjourn the public hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by the deputy mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now moving on to the regular meeting. We'll start with mayor's comments. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the surprise that I received yesterday with respect to our village elections. I sent out an email as soon as I found out. As some of you may know, or perhaps all of you may know, our elections were traditionally in June. However, we made a change last year with respect by public referendum at the request of the Board of Elections to change our elections to November to coincide with the county, state, and federal elections. The next election, our first for November, will be November 3rd. Now, at the village election level, which preceded this year, the schedule was pretty simple. The election was held in June. Petitioning, which is the process by which a candidate gets on the ballot, was in April. And so it was a relatively short campaign period. The petitions were filed in early May. The election was in mid-June. So when we changed it to November, the assumption was we'd probably start petitioning in September. I just happened to take a call that was intended for somebody else yesterday from one of the commissioners of the Board of Election, and during our conversation, she said, who's going to be submitting their petitions next week? And I was kind of shocked by that. Turns out that the deadline for filing for the 2 trustee positions is May 26th. I sent out an email, and in the email I advised the community that anyone who's interested in running for the seats currently held by Deputy Mayor Lindsay and Trustee Turner should immediately obtain copies of blank petitions and begin circulating them. Fortunately, the minimum number of valid signatures by registered voters is only 18. So anyone who wishes to be a candidate has 5 or 6 days to get those 18 signatures and perhaps a few more, and then submit them by 5 p.m. on Tuesday at the Board of Elections up in Goshen. I have provided copies of blank petitions for anyone in the room who might be interested. I have sent emailed copies to all residents who are on the village mailing list, and we'll see what happens. And if there are any questions with respect to how one goes about obtaining signatures or how to properly sign the petition, calls should be made to the Board of Elections in Goshen, and I included that phone number in yesterday's email. We started road paving this week. We started on Pawtucket, which was all the way up the hill, past the school, and we will continue with Summit and the other designated roads. Jeff will explain the specifics of the paving in his report, when we will be done with the designated roads. And the last item is with respect to the aerial survey of all the lakefront properties in Tuxedo Lake. We hired a company called Princeton Hydro, and on May 13th, they sent up a drone. That drone surveyed, took videos of the entire shoreline of Tuxedo Lake for the purpose of the company making recommendations with respect to riparian buffers. Riparian buffers being plantings at the edge of the water, and the purpose of that is to filter out the types of chemicals and other none such that might pollute the lake and degrade our water quality. So this particular survey and any riparian buffers that are placed along the shoreline by private landowners will certainly go a long way towards improving water quality of the reservoir that we call Tuxedo Lake. So that concludes my remarks. I turn to the Deputy Mayor for hers.
Since our last meeting, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has notified the village and the town that we have been certified as a climate smart community. This is after 6 years of meetings and finding ways for us to not only reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, but also reduce costs of energy for our taxpayers. So we're very excited about this designation. It does give us a leg up on grants that the DEC makes available, and so we will start to do that.
Thank you. Trustee Turner?
No comments.
Okay. We next turn to public comments. Any member of the public that wishes to speak on any subject at all is now free to stand and at the podium and give their comments. We'll start with anyone in the room. Is there anyone in the room who wishes to speak publicly? Ms. Lopkowitz, feel free to take the podium and speak into the mic, and we're all ears.
Thank you so much. I'm Gail, and nice seeing you. And thank you, Mayor and trustees, for welcoming me tonight. I have not done this before, so I apologize if I don't use the right terminology for those approvals. But I'm excited to be educated, so thank you. I'm approaching the village decision makers tonight to ask an exception be considered for a temporary ability to allow Sony and Netflix to do a film on my private property that would not involve other property in the park. It would be private. Fortunately, I have a lot of forest, so it's a very private property at all. And they specifically do not even want my house to look like it does. So it will be not recognizable as my house, as Tuxedo, and they want none of us in it. So nothing personal. I don't take that personally, but it is very much, I believe, consistent with why all of us have chosen to live in a beautiful private place like Tuxedo. And I wouldn't approach you to talk about it if I did not feel it was consistent and respectful of my neighbors and my community. I also understand that there is a statute or code 25 plus years old that's out there that says no can do. And at the same time, well, I respect that. That's why I very much want to do this transparently and come to you all. I also understand that the community and the village decision makers and board trustees and village elders and youngers and decision makers and mayors have in the past considered for, I believe, very high profile and well insured and properly done, not drive-by-night situations of filming in the past, and would be eager to understand how those exceptions were made and hopefully follow the same process for a consideration of same exceptions. I'm here tonight myself in St. Louis, freshman in college, because he's smarter than I am, so, and he has been involved with everything. And also Veronica, who is representing the Sony Netflix. She's a very senior professional in her field. And very important to me when I was approached by Sony and others, and they got my name through the Orange County Tourism, who apparently our tax dollars pay for a team there who tries to direct filmmakers towards homes and the space that may be interesting for Sony and others. It's apparently a big portion of what they do, which I had no idea. When I was approached, I was very hesitant, like, what, privacy, all the things that make me like to see it for 30 years and the 8 customers choose this. And Veronica and her team have persuaded me that, insurance restoration, sensitivity to community, privacy. I've been extremely impressed. I would not be here today asking for this exception if I personally hadn't probably driven them crazy with the million questions. Afraid I chased them away forever, but I feel like they could be a institution who has a track record, knows what they're doing, and has a vested interest to make sure everyone benefits from a positive event for the community and privacy. I also understand that it would be an exception. I also understand there is that old code. And I also understand why it was put in place so that Tuxedo doesn't become a showy Hollywood place where people's privacy is limited. And this is a extremely private situation, which all of my property. And I feel that our community will not be harmed by it. In fact, perhaps there'd even be some benefit, because I've also been taught that apparently other towns and villages, it's very typical that donations get made, and apparently this industry works closely with churches, towns, villages, municipalities, schools, because that's where there may be space or parking or home. So it's a benefit to certain communities who in the past have made exceptions or approved it. The details in terms of really the process of what the experience would be like for Tuxedo, Veronica can also speak to in a lot of detail, and this team has been very professional, showing me insurance and all the steps. So I probably said too much, and I want to open it for questions next step. I'm not sure what happens from
Yeah,
there.
well, from our perspective, if the representative from Sony would be available to answer any questions that the trustee and the deputy mayor had, that would be perfect. So I think she would be the appropriate person to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Okay, please feel free, ma'am, to take the podium. Thank you, Ms. Lofkowitz. Any questions from the deputy mayor?
Well, Gail, you did send a pretty detailed letter as to what some of the plans would be during the filming as to how many people, but maybe if you could, Veronica, how many people would be involved in the filming, where they'll be staying, what the hours are, just to
Yeah.
start there.
So the way that we want to work it out, and so this is a series, it's a mini series. It's after Liz Moore's book, God of the Woods. It's placed in the woods, inside of a house in the 70s. And so it's period. So that's another reason why there won't be any other properties ever on footage. I think that was like a concern. We just can't, well, even if it gets caught, it gets scrubbed immediately because it's not part of the film. And we would be on the property 3 times, from June until September. And each time it's at Gale's, inside of Gale's property. And then on those days, our crew goes up to about 55 on a film day. What's the when we're actually filming? Other than that, it looks like, people prepping inside of Gale's. It looks like a landscape truck that's gonna be there, and you were doing some work on the backyard, which is, I know that we're gonna hire like a licensed, tuxedo landscaper, because I think that's also in the rules, so we're using, these
Margie's landscape.
Margie's landscape, but, yeah,
Let's use that.
just because they know, the property and. So- AJ. We're using them, so that's what it's gonna look like mostly. That's what you're gonna see that comes through the gate. It's gonna be like a box truck. That's gonna be working on her backyard, or we're gonna be inside painting. It's gonna look like someone's renovating their house, kind of. Probably less than because there's no construction or anything like that. It's, so there's not gonna be much noise other than like daytime landscaping.
With cosmetic stuff.
It's it's all aesthetic. And I think, I think that part, I know Gail's pretty pumped because we are gonna be just getting rid of a lot of like dead trees. We're gonna take care of her bamboo, just kind of like manicure the lawn, and the gravel, and then restore it the way that she needs after we're done.
And there'll be no changes to the outside. I told them they
Right.
can't even like try to nail something
Yeah.
into the outside rock, like tape and just treat it like a fragile historic place that it is.
How many prep days, this total prep you're talking about, how many days do you anticipate?
It depends on like because we're not just filming at Gale's, we're mostly filming at Harriman State Park. That's like our big location. And then we're using the interior of Gale's and then her backyard to kind of piece it together. But I would say maybe like, I don't know if it's consecutive, but it's like if we have to do landscaping, then that's like a few weeks before we actually get there. So that's outside contract work, so that's not even us. But inside prep work, you're talking about like a week each time we go. So it's like a week leading up to the day that we film there. And that looks like 2 30-foot box trucks. So those are smaller than the ones you see for like landscaping construction. That's our package for the film. They're all 30-foot, which are the smaller ones. Just so that we can get inside of Harriman State Park, and kind of the same thing. Everything's pretty fragile and woodsy, and we have to be able to make turns. So these things are not the big ones that I think people
Yeah.
imagine, like that are in the city that are just huge, and like we couldn't even fit that in here if we wanted to. So that's not the plan. So on a prep day, anyways, to answer your question, it's gonna look like 2 trucks that come in early morning, because our crew, we start at like 7 usually, like if they have to do a day's work. And that's gonna be prepping interior.
Interior, what are the hours for landscaping, John?
8 to 4:30.
Okay.
So that's typically landscaping work.
Yeah, the landscaping
I'm
work
sure that guy that we're hiring
knows that, yeah, okay. And when you said June to September, but it's only 3
visits.
days of
No, no.
filming,
So we.
of filming itself.
Yeah, it's three blocks of filming, so it's 3 visits. We arrive at the end of June, that's when we film, and it's 4 consecutive days at Gale's property. And then we arrive on the first day, like anything that arrives on the property, it stays on the property, so that there's not like a bunch of traffic in and out. Also, our crew won't be parking inside of the property. Everything's gonna be off-site of the village. So the only things that are coming in are just the actual 30 but the box trucks with the equipment, camera, whatever, that comes in, and then our crew is dropped off, in a big passenger van
Okay.
in the mornings, and then they leave at night so that there's not like a bunch of cars coming in through the gates.
Just 55 people in one passenger van? It's pretty tight.
No, it's a 39 passenger van and, they do
Some
routes.
people
But we've done that before whenever we're like on a sensitive property.
Okay.
And that's why I've worked out with our Teamsters so that, because usually it's like 12 passenger van, but he's like, we might as well, because we're doing the same thing at Harriman, so we're just keeping the pass van.
An idle curiosity, where are you filming in Harriman?
Oh, Joanne's in the waiting
So
room.
there's Sebago, you know,
Yeah.
off the lake, there's
Awesome.
there, we're in like 3 different areas, and we're just, they're excited because we're renovating their Boy Scout camps.
Ah, awesome.
So that we can film in them, and like, they get to just keep everything, but that's like our major, like, it's basically like, that's where we are.
And how long will the second and third shoot?
It's about the same,
So
it's like,
so it's 12 days over 3.
yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
we come, and it's at the end of June, end of July, same thing, end of July, and then, yeah, July, September. Yeah, and I'm happy to go over like specific dates and all that kind of thing.
Did you say September or August? Was it
August.
August? Yeah.
So it's basically four days each month for 3 months.
Right.
And the landscaping, I'm sure he'll just run it by John to
Yeah.
just make sure that it's all,
Yeah,
doesn't need any other approvals.
I think the major can do that.
Yeah, John can advise you what you can and can't do.
It's gonna look a lot better. But we'll run it by you, just.
Any other questions, Deputy Mayor? Any questions? I have one question. I guess it's sort of sensitive, but I'll keep it as straight as I can without mentioning any numbers. Is there any fee involved to the homeowner? Does the homeowner receive a fee for the use of her property for this filming?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, I have one question. Would there be any interest in doing some sort of donation to the village?
Yeah, and I mentioned that to Gail, that we do that whenever we're filming in any, especially like an incorporated village. You know, it does, we are a presence, so like, sometimes they'll direct us to donate to the school or to the hospital that's here, or just directly to the village, so that it like goes back to like beautifying, or wherever it needs to go. And that like we're very, because we have to pay that anyways, it's like a version of a permit fee, or like, but yeah, in the form of a donation is what we usually do. We're very happy to do that here.
Okay, great. I think that would be interesting to know what size of donation you would consider. You don't have to tell us now, but offline.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me tell you, is Chief something?
Yeah, that's some.
This is our police chief.
Questions too. Yes, what you were saying about Orange County, they do a tremendous job with, you know, the filming and finding people for that. You know, I've used them numerous times in Goshen. You know, they used to do a lot of movies in Goshen. But if I could possibly just get a copy too of, you know, what the proposal is for, because they're gonna need like a safety plan and other things. And usually with, things like this, there's usually, you have to hire a couple of police officers for each day of shooting, depending on, you know, where it is and the amount.
Right.
Or that, so that's
Sure.
probably always a given for safety factors, having
And
police on site or,
And you've been an extra in any of these films?
just behind the scenes, just taking care of it all.
would Sony Netflix pick up the cost if we had to hire extra
Yeah,
cops?
that would fall under
Yeah,
us.
that's usually we give them a contract, and like in Go, we did, you know, plenty of time, they would just pay for the officers, the police vehicle, there was a set fee for each
Yeah.
officer or car through the day. I mean, they do it with the state, and they're in Harriman State Park, they're doing it with probably a lot of troopers for the day.
Yeah,
Which,
rangers and troopers and
yeah,
rattlesnake.
which their rate is tremendously higher than state
Rattlesnake
police.
handlers, yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. We understand when we receive the letter, it's something that we have to discuss. And we're going to discuss your application in executive session for the purpose of receiving attorney advice from our village attorney an interpretation of the code that applies to filming in the village. So that executive session discussion will not be public. It's attorney advice. It's one of the elements of an executive session that we can have in private. So we will discuss this at the end of this particular meeting. We'll receive our attorney's opinion as to what the code says and how it's to be interpreted, as well as what the past history with respect to applying that code to previous applications is. And then we will have an answer for you. I don't suggest you wait around till the end of the meeting. We'll get you an answer as soon as we possibly can. I understand you have a relatively tight schedule starting, and you'd like an answer as soon as possible. Okay.
And I know that in the past we've done like a separate meeting, and I can also bring in people that I work with to make sure that, you know, everything is discussed, all our boxes are checked.
Yeah.
We can even change things if that is helpful, or, you know, like, 'cause we want everybody to be happy. It's not like, this isn't like a run and done thing. So.
One question, so one, thank you for that. Two, I know you want to answer as soon as possible, but if we needed more time, and to get other trustees involved in the discussion, when's the drop dead day to know?
Unfortunately, it's pretty soon, because now that our studio has caught wind of the language and some of that you're bringing up, they need to know if this is actually going to be able to happen, because now we've tied in a lot of people that are planning around Gail's house. A lot of teams, a lot of money is already being spent in a direction, and so now everybody's kind of holding off and being like, wait a second. It's just like if you can't film inside of a property because it's like off zone somewhere, like, you know, we would know that ahead of time, like, you know, so this isn't strictly getting a permit here. This is going to have to be like a different way. So yeah, we needed it by the end of the week.
You need it by tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we will discuss it, and the three of us will hopefully be able to come to a decision one way or another. Obviously, two members are missing and will not be able to participate. But if you need an answer tomorrow, I think we can give you an answer tomorrow. And who do we give the answer to? Because we only have a letter from Ms. Lobkowitz. Do you have a card?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You know, if you guys need me to just forward you anything, or is this something that this discussion happened here and then?
Well, the discussion is going to be with the village attorney to get a interpretation of the code provision that in essence restricts filming in certain aspects. And we need to know how we apply that to this situation. And once we receive this advice from the attorney, then we will have a discussion with respect to how we proceed. And that decision will also be based on past practice, because, you know, from my perspective as the mayor, whether it's a large production or a one-man operation, you know, you have to have a uniform application of the law. And that's really what we have to do. So we might have an answer for you at the end of this session, but we can, or it might be tomorrow, but we can certainly, with your cell number, we could let you know as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And if you need a decision by tomorrow, I believe we can give you a decision by tomorrow.
If we needed an extra week or so, would that be an issue?
Because we can't move forward with Gail until we know that this can
Yeah.
happen. I think what would be helpful is something I can give the studio by tomorrow night.
I mean, something positive.
Yeah, I guess, because,
okay.
you know, right now they're like
Indication.
Yeah, I understand.
Do you have any sense of what type of donation you all would be willing to make to the village?
I can see I mean, I can't just throw out a number myself. It's something I'll have to.
Can we discuss that in executive session too?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, and thank you for this. Sorry for the very quick.
No, that's fine. It's a significant project. And we understand how important it is to you.
Well, I appreciate that. And I also would say to Sony, I know tomorrow you say you need the answer, and obviously we all have to magically deliver it, so that's the goal.
Right.
However, if
Yeah, if it's needed, yeah,
If you
exactly. I
have
can
a
talk to my
process,
guys.
I think it's reasonable that if you share it with me and Sony, I think it just allows them to figure out if they need to pivot and find another community.
Yeah.
Or if this is a community, it's beyond just my house, I guess it's, and then I know that the code does say if there's any commercial benefit, no, which I guess is logical, but on the other hand, even if I were to say, all right, I won't take any commercial benefit, which would be probably illogical for me to consider. Get to a family and get some commercial benefit. These are commercial in there, right? There are actresses making money, teams should be, it's commercial. The police would make money, people, it's these, even if they say they're nonprofit, documentary, I'm sure people are making money somewhere. So the whole definition of commercial is an interesting application.
And that's something we'll be discussing in executive session, an interpretation of the law, the code. So thank you very much. We're gonna, okay, and please leave your business card. Yeah, thank you. Okay, any other public comment in the room? Seeing none, any public comment from our Zoom participants? Claudio Guazzoni, go ahead.
You're on mute, Claudio. You're still.
There he goes.
Sorry, this is my first Zoom call. I apologize. I'd like to bring up something that's on the agenda under new business, and that would be letter G, acceptance of anonymous donation to the village of lot number 107-1-103.1, which is a lot located on Lookout Road of about 2.1 acres. And the current owner wishes to donate it to the village. And I think under discussion will be whether or not we should accept it as a village. It's interesting that the owner wants to donate it. Looking at it from the point of view of the donor is contributing some $8,000 or so in taxes to the community. Where it's about $3,500 or so to the school, $33 to the county and township, and about $17 or $18, some $1,800 to us annually. So it's costing the current owner about $8,000 a year to hold on to this piece of land that from my recollection is that they've been trying to sell it for a very long time, and it's very hard to build upon. So rather than pay $8,000 a year out of pocket, they want to get rid of their issue. I think it's a very interesting piece of land. We should accept it. We should accept it and keep it natural and the way it is. It's a little buffer zone for our natural environment and for the animals and the plants and the insects. So it would be interesting to accept it. I understand there's some worry that the $8,000 or so per year is not going to be injected into our community any further, with some $1,700 or $1,800 in village taxes. So if what I would do is to ask the owner, tell them, yes, we'll take the issue off their hands, and it's a bit of a millstone at this time. So we'll take the millstone off their shoulders, and if they could give us 1 year of taxes. So if they could give us some $9,000, we could do some maintenance on the site and keep it as public land. And I am, I'm sure that's not too much money for the owner to offload this piece of land to us, as it's costing them currently some $8,000 a year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Guzzoni. I just would like to correct one number on the statement he made. I checked this afternoon, and the village taxes that are being billed, the bills are going out this month.
Right.
Yes.
The bill to the owner of that property for village taxes is $1,142. So
All right.
just so we keep the record straight.
No, I'm glad you corrected me. I was looking for the current tax roll on the village website, and for some reason I had a hard time finding it. So I was using 2024 numbers.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Guzzoni. Any other public comment on this issue or any other issue? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to.
We have two hands.
Oh,
So they just raised it.
yeah, okay. Shame on
You're the
you.
gun.
Surprise me. Ms. Rinza, you're up. You're unmute.
Yeah.
Unmute, Stephanie.
I'm trying to.
There you go.
No, okay, good. So I heard with great interest that the village was going to be offered a beautiful parcel of land as a present, and I'm speaking not as a bar member, but as a private resident. At a time when there's so much encroachment on our beautiful green area all around Tuxedo Park, it just feels like a wonderful opportunity to be given a parcel that we as a community may control and keep as a green buffer zone for the wild animals and for people to hike on and perhaps make into a small park with some community involvement, bring back native plantings. Perhaps it could even become part of the nature preserve that we already have. But I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and thank you for confirming the number. I think $1,100 is a very small amount to lose and a lot to gain from this. So thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Well said. Thank you. Ms. Hempel.
Thank you, Mayor. I have bronchitis, so apologize if I suddenly start hacking away. Briefly, I support fully what Claudio and Stephanie are saying. It's a substandard lot in the sense that it's below 4 acre zoning. It's on the ridge line. It's very difficult to build. If someone were to sort of put a house on it, it will very well cause a lot of erosion and stormwater problems for the property. On the other side of Lookout Road and downhill. So I applaud their support of the village accepting this donation. I also have a brief comment about the filming application. The property is within the 100 feet setback of Tuxedo Lake Reservoir. It's an environmentally sensitive area. So I would suggest that John Ledward takes a very close look at the landscaping plan to make sure that whatever is done to the property to beautify it will not cause increased stormwater runoff into the lake or erosion issues and things of that ilk. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hempel. All right. Anybody else surprise me? Raise their hand at the last moment. Anybody? Okay, sold. We next move on to reports, oral and written. The court report is always attached to the record. The first live report comes from our police chief, Alan Faust.
Good evening. Police department responded to 149 calls for the month. We had 3 property damage auto accidents. They wrote 5 uniform traffic tickets. They got 6 warnings, 4 fire alarms, 1 intrusion alarm, 3 medical calls. Patrolled 2,433 miles and approximately 800 vehicles a day came into the village for the month. We also had some tree work done, which they did on Tuesday. They got rid of that giant couple of dead hemlock trees that were hanging over the station. So that should help prevent a catastrophe if that thing ever fell on the PD or anything. And also help preserve that roof because it was just making a mess of the roof. Covering out all the time. And last year says Police Memorial Week. So for the prayer for Officer Conklin, who passed away and has a duty here with the village of Tuxedo Park years ago.
Any questions for the chief?
No?
No, thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll see you on Memorial Day, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and our cameras are up, our new camera system, it it was installed, it's up and working.
Okay.
So we have a good base for the future for our.
Including the new gate, the north gate?
Correct.
Yeah, great. Okay, thank you, chief.
Thank you.
See you on Memorial Day.
The North Gate, where is it? Where is, we have to find.
Okay, who's talking? We can hear you. All
I
right.
think there was a question
If
about
there's
where's the North Gate.
is that a question? Whoever wanted to know where the
Yes.
North Gate was? The North Gate is by the sewer plant and is solely for access by village employees. It is an electronic gate that was installed. Originally, it was padlock. There's 2 padlocks. At Weewa Road, there's a padlock gate, but down at the exit from the sewer plant, it's an electronic gate. And the employees are permitted to enter and exit the village, and only the employees. And we needed a camera there so that the police department could monitor that electronic gate as it opens and closes to ensure that nobody sneaks in. Does that answer your question? Anybody? Okay. Supervisor Voss.
Thank you. As the mayor stated earlier, we started blacktopping paving roads. Pawtucket was done yesterday and half of Camp Comfort. We were unable to pave today because of the rain, but tomorrow they'll do the other side of Camp Comfort and move on to Summit Road, from Summit Road to Weewa Road, and then from Weewa Road to Circuit Road, and from Circuit Road to East Lake Stable Road. They figure 5 days of total paving, yesterday being 1, so another 4 days. Tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
You said East Lake Stable. Do you mean, is it Circuit Road runs to on the north, it's Lookout runs to
And
Lookout
Laurel.
and down to Laurel. Is that going to be paved?
No,
No.
it'll go from the intersection of Lookout Road to the other end of Lookout Road and the top of Laurel.
Okay.
Just all of Circuit
Okay, Circuit is going to be completely repaved. Yeah, okay.
with drainage, right? Improvements.
Well, that's another story. I mean, I originally planned on reclaiming it, but realized that wasn't going to help. So we're going to try to pitch the road more,
Okay.
keep the water running down the side instead of running out and freezing in the winter. It's a tough area. There's no place to put drainage. There's no place to run pipes. But hopefully, this will help. If we have to make any minor adjustments, we will.
Okay.
But the last 2 weeks, we've been working on prepping these roads, cutting brush, digging out gutters, rebuilding catch basins. Other than that, we've had some, dead trees, fallen trees we've had to pick up. We did, oil changes on generators at the water plant, the sewer plant, the DPW. We power washed the village office, clean drains and catch basins. We also did some more work on the stormwater mapping. We worked with Sterling Carting on bulk pickup. Did a lot of work over at the Weewa to get it ready to open this weekend. Installed some new benches that they had gotten last fall. Water and sewer. Still installing seasonal water meters. Installed 2 irrigation meters. Performed utility markouts. Located all valve boxes, water valve boxes and manholes on the roads that we're paving so that they can be raised to accommodate the new 2 inches of blacktop. We did some work on a check valve at the water plant. We repaired water line at the sewer plant. We cleared a sewer blockage on Camp Comfort Road. Had sludge removed from the sewer plant. That's basically it.
How's the sewer plant operating from your perspective?
It's fine.
And the water plant?
Yeah.
No issues?
There's always minor issues here and there, yeah.
Did we get the generator, the second generator fixed?
What's that?
Did we get the second generator fixed? I thought there was,
One at the police? No.
no, I thought there was a second pump.
No, we didn't get it fixed. They were unable to fix it. It's, 20 some years old. But I mean.
Is that a backup pump or?
No. Well, there are two, so only one runs at a time. So it's not like if one went down, we didn't have another one.
Do you feel comfortable now that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. If something were to happen to one, then we would have to get a new one.
Okay.
We could buy a backup just to have it. They're not cheap.
I'm sure. Okay.
The paving, when you get a chance, can you update me on the cost so I can look at it versus the budget and if we're going to move into the next fiscal year budget and do additional work?
Yeah.
Just let me know where we're at with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. John, you're up next.
Yes, inspections of most of the permitted projects were performed in the last 30 days. No real issues to report. Sent a reminder to some property owners about start dates of some of their projects, and we've had a fairly positive response for a few people finishing some projects that were started a year or two ago. And also we had 2 people that had violations that have been resolved with the building department and the BAR. And they're starting their projects in the next couple of weeks.
Sounds good. All right. The water department reports from Denise are attached to the record. There is no treasurer report this month because that position is vacant, but hopefully we will resolve that tonight. Let's move on to the next item.
Vote. Get a vote to approve the.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I make a motion that we add all written reports to the public record. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. All right, next item, approval of minutes. Elizabeth continues to work for us, not in her role as clerk treasurer, but as a per diem employee. You may have seen her working diligently at her desk. And one of the things she's doing for us until our new employee begins, assuming we confirm her in June, and we'll discuss that at the appropriate time. Elizabeth is preparing the agendas for the meetings. I assume she'll do one for tonight. So we have 2 agendas, April 16th, 2026, the regular Board of Trustees meeting, April 23rd. We had a special meeting involving the budget. Elizabeth prepared those agendas and circulated them, I believe, on Monday. I'm sorry, the minutes. Minutes. Yeah. Okay. I'm showing my age. Sorry, guys, but there's nothing I can do about that.
We know what you meant.
Okay. So I would make a motion that the board approve the April 16th and April 23rd meeting minutes. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Any changes to be made? Any discussions or deletions? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Next item is old business. Our employees in the office, as well as the union employees are covered, union employees of the DPW are covered by the MVP health plan. The plan that is up for renewal at the end of this month is the silver plan. I've had numerous discussions with Ms. Fiore of Marshall and Sterling, who's our agent with respect to the health insurance. And she's indicated that without any real impact in benefits, we can move to the Bronze 6 plan. And I've studied it in some detail, and there would be some savings to the village from my perspective, it might be as much as $10,000 in premium. Now, let me quote for you for the record so that everybody understands. The cost of health insurance has risen dramatically. It's risen dramatically all across the country. The plan that we had that ends on May 31st was at an annual cost for this year of $206,519. If we were to renew, it would be a 16% increase. Okay? The alternative plan, the bronze plan, is an 8% increase. So it's half the increase, which I think is much more reasonable. So the new premium for the plan itself would go from $206,000 to $222,000 as compared to going up to $239,000 if we were to renew the silver plan. I reviewed it in detail. As I said, I don't believe it's really going to affect the employees. And we do have a healthcare reimbursement fund where for out-of-pocket expenses or deductibles or any money they have to pay for uncovered services, the village covers those costs. So that being said, I'd like to make a resolution that the Village of Tuxedo Park agrees to the MVP, EPO, HDHP Bronze 6 plan for its employees for the year starting June 1st of 2026, running through May 31st of 2027, and that the mayor be authorized to advise our broker to accept that plan and to provide that plan. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The adoption of code amendments prohibiting unattended dogs is on the agenda, but as I said, we're going to kick that one over to June, so we're going to table any resolution and keep the public hearing open. Okay. We move on to new business. The village board has spent the last month and a half interviewing candidates to replace Elizabeth, whose last day as our clerk treasurer after 5 years was March 31st of this year. We interviewed a number of candidates, essentially narrowed it after multiple interviews down to 2 possibilities. And in the end, the board, at least I as the mayor, and we're going to vote on it, I decided to nominate a woman who lives right outside the gate. She lives in Maplebrook, so she has a great commute. Not that that has an impact on our hiring decision. She is presently the deputy building department clerk in the village of Sloatsburg, and she's held that position since February of 2021. She also has a second job. She works for an accounting firm called Berard and Associates in Suffern, which, among other things, handles municipal audits, which is useful information for us because certainly every year we get audited. So she has knowledge and experience with respect to municipal finance. And it should be noted that she worked for the Town of Tuxedo Building Department in an administrative capacity from September of 2013 to June of 2016. As part of our due diligence, I made several calls to her current and prior employers and received, and this is for the record, only glowing references. Her name is Rachel Guido, and I would make a motion now that the Board of Trustees authorize the employment of Rachel Guido at terms that were provided to the trustees, and that her employment be authorized beginning on a date when she will be available. She has some issues with respect to providing notice, but approximately mid-June. As clerk treasurer of the village, it's an important role, and I'm sure she will fulfill it to the best of her ability. And do I have a second?
Second, enthusiastically.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, Rachel. If you're watching, I'll be in touch with you tomorrow. Okay, the DPW contract is up at the end of this month, and I had one meeting with the union rep, and they had two demands, essentially two changes in the current contract. They would like across the board raises of 3%, which I note is the same amount we gave to the police for their 5-year contract. And they would like to roll over or cash out 1 week's vacation every year, starting the new year. Those are the only two. The negotiation was very different than the police, which went on for months. So do you have any questions about this contract with these two simple?
The 1 week, so the 3% makes sense. What is the 1 week?
The 1 week, usually they have to use the vacation.
Yeah.
Now they want to either roll it over for the next year or take out a cash payment for the salary they would have earned for that vacation week.
So they roll it over for just 1 year, or you don't want them to keep.
That's right. They roll it over for a year.
Just, and okay, then you
But
start
limited to that 1 year.
Yes.
rollover.
Okay, does everybody feel that's appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay.
just for 1 year.
All right, so I'll make a motion that the DPW contract the mayor be authorized to sign a new DPW contract. It'll be a 3-year agreement containing all the same terms and provisions as the contract that ran from June of 2023 to May of 2026, with the exception that the salary of the DPW workers covered by the contract will be raised by 3%, and that the employees will be permitted to roll over 1 week's vacation to the following year, or alternatively cash out that week's unused vacation. Those will be the only two changes to the contract. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, next item. Mr. Cernich is here. He lives at 67 Westlake Road. He has lakefront property, and he would like to build a dock in front of his property on the lake. My understanding, John, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that he's gone to the bar. The bar has reviewed the dimensions, the scope, the color, the material, all those things. And it is the responsibility of the Board of Trustees to actually issue a permit for that particular dock. We don't evaluate it in any other method. We just decide whether to issue a permit. The bar has apparently approved. Has they approved?
No, the bar is waiting for your approval.
Okay,
To
if that-
build something on a piece of village-owned property, essentially the lake.
Okay, all right. So it's up to us to approve it, and then we'll go back to the bar,
Yes,
and they'll complete their evaluation of the application by Mr. Cernich.
yes.
All right, so I would move that the Board of Trustees approve a permit for a dock located on Tuxedo Lake at the address of 67 Westlake Road. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, there was discussion last year and again early this year about hiring a beach manager. As everybody knows, we have a contract with Arch Pools. They supply the checkers, they supply the lifeguards, and there's been a general feeling that we as a village should have someone present at the beach to ensure that the lifeguards are doing their job, the checkers are doing their job. It's run safely. It's a part-time job, but it's an important job. And the beach manager will be our eyes and ears. I have told the candidate that she will be reporting back to the board at our monthly meetings with respect to how things are going at the Weewa Beach. And I have found an excellent candidate for this particular position. Her name is Ava Ratazzi. She's a resident of the hamlet. She served earlier as a lifeguard at the beach. She no longer is a licensed or certified lifeguard. However, she's a junior. She's entering her junior year at Virginia Tech University. She was a member with her family of the beach club since she was a child. So she's extremely familiar with it. You had a chance to briefly meet her. She's responsible, and I believe she'll be an excellent beach manager. The salary for the beach manager we had discussed. I think that Jared, can that be public? It's an hourly salary.
Yes, Mayor. In fact, we should also disclose in relation to the appointment of the new village clerk, the salary that's going to be ascribed for her as well.
Any other benefits disclosed or just the salary?
Salary is fine.
Okay. So while we're talking about it, the salary for Rachel Guido will be $80,000 a year. The hourly salary for Ava for hours not to exceed 25, primarily full-time on the weekends and then part-time 2 hours a day, perhaps during the week when it's less crowded, will be $27.50 an hour. Is that enough, Jared?
That works well. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. So having met her, I recommend her hiring, and I'd make a motion that we hire Ava Rattazzi as a part-time WeWa Beach manager for the summer of 2026. Do I have a second? Second by the deputy mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next item, Rob McQuilkin has served admirably as a member of the bar for many years. He has moved on with his life. I think he might even be living outside of the United States. I'm not sure, but he's felt it's time for him to retire from that particular position, and he has submitted a written resignation. I move that we accept the resignation with thanks of Rob McQuilkin for all the work he's done as a member of the bar. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Turner. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And to replace Rob, we have an alternate member who has, in the 3 or 4 or 5 meetings she's attended, has shown that she is was a worthwhile selection, and we expect that she'll be a great regular member. Her name is Christine Nemec, and I would move that Christine Nemec be appointed as a member of the bar, a regular member, for the term ending in December of 2028. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by the deputy mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Will
Thank-
we be
an
looking
alternate.
for a new alternate?
Yes, we'll be looking for a new alternate for the bar, and we're looking for a new alternate. We never had an alternate for the planning board.
Okay.
And not that anybody would read my message on the homepage of the website. It does indicate that we're looking for 2 new members, and I'll
Okay.
put a message out to that. Next is the donation of land. So as you heard from members of the public, and as we have discussed, there is an anonymous donor who owns the property at lot number 107-1-103.1, 2.1 acres of vacant land on Lookout Road, who would like to donate this land to the village. You've heard from some members of the public. From my perspective as a mayor, it's not a donation I would even consider turning down. There's no more land being created, and every bit of land that we can own as a village and keep as open space, it works well for the community. And I believe, as we received a donation of 4 acres at the south end by Southgate from another donor, this is a 2-acre parcel, and under no circumstances would I not accept such a parcel. So with that being said, I have a formal resolution prepared by the attorneys that I will read. Give me a moment. Sorry about this, guys. Here we go. Here's the resolution. Okay. Whereas an anonymous donor has offered to donate vacant property located in the village of Tuxedo to the village, which property is known as Section 107, Block 1, Lot 103.2 on.
One on the agenda.
Hmm. Do you?
I'll have to double check it.
Did you check? Yeah. Just give us a moment. Sorry about that.
Sorry, just that seems like an important point.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, we want to make sure we're
Yeah.
we're accepting the right property. Otherwise, the owner might be.
What?
It is 103.2.
Is it 103.2?
Yeah, it is. Yes, Mayor.
Okay.
Great.
All right. So it doesn't matter that the agenda is wrong. We'll confirm with John. He's taking a look at the tax book.
Should we do the other two while we wait for him to?
No, let's just we're moving right along. It's only 10 after 8.
One oh three point two.
Thank you. Jared was correct. Okay, which property is known as Section 107, Block 1, Lot 103.2 on the tax map of the town of Tuxedo? Is that correct? Would it be the tax map?
Village of Tuxedo.
Park?
Village of Tuxedo Park?
Yeah, okay. On the tax map of the village of Tuxedo Park, and whereas the property is proposed to be donated to the village unconditionally, now therefore the village accepts the unconditional donation and will use the land for municipal purposes. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we thank the donor we thank the donor very much for this. This was a very generous donation. Okay. Next, Katie Mullins served as the chair of the Weewa Park for the past year. She did an excellent job last summer. However, because of her work schedule and other issues, she's no longer able to serve, and she submitted her letter of resignation to me last week. So I would move that we accept the resignation of Katie Mullins as chair of the Weewa Park Committee. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. All right.
Do we know who's going to take over?
No,
that
we
yet?
don't. I'm recruiting. I'm trying to find somebody. I've been asking around. Okay, I'm making an active effort to get somebody to fill that post. All right. Next item is the boat club. Thank you. So the Village Boat Club has a license agreement that's renewed year to year. Everybody knows they're down at the end of Chastaloo. The members of the boat club have to be village taxpayers by their constitution or charter. So renters, no matter how long they've been here, are not eligible to join. Only people who are listed on the tax rolls. This agreement is exactly the same as the agreement that we entered into last year. There are no changes at all other than the date. So I would move that the mayor be authorized to enter into a license agreement with the Village Boat Club. And upon signing the agreement by both the mayor and a representative of the boat club, that this agreement be valid for a period of 1 year. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Second by trustee Turner. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. An item that came up today and is not on the agenda, but is important. Even though the next reorganization meeting of the village will not be until the first Monday in December of this year. And therefore, because we changed the election date, all officers, appointed boards, their terms continue until our reorganization meeting in December. The Office of Court Administration, which monitors the judge and the associate judge, requires us to extend Associate Justice Stephanie Stahl's position until December. So I will make a resolution that the board extend the term of Associate Justice Stephanie Stahl from July 6th of 2026 to December 7th of 2026, which will be the date of the reorganization for the village. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Turner. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. The OCA will be very happy. Audit of claims and budget transfers will await the new clerk treasurer. Closing comments. Any member of the public wish to take a second opportunity to speak on any subject they would like to address? Anyone? Yes, Ms. Lopkowitz.
You're not tired of hearing.
You're free to speak on any subject.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
But can
Would you
speak-
take the
The
podium?
reason for that is that otherwise people online wouldn't be able to hear you.
Thank you, and this is for full meeting, and thank you for all you do for our it's a couple of comments from me, and I just wanted to, it was a very valid suggestion of how I'm on the lake, so we want to preserve the quality of the lake. And I, as a homeowner, stopped using pesticides and anything. I have more weeds than others, but I've told the Sony people that it's all, like, there's no fertilizer, no chemicals, no, that there's protects. There will be kids in this movie, you know, and they protect the kids. I've given them the name for the all natural tick sprays. So I am so respectful of that comment and how I run the property anyway. And second, collaborative is the being here, and John and anyone is welcome on the property at any time during this process to make sure it's all transparent. That's how I live my life, and I just want to make sure you guys know this. If we have the honors moving forward, that's how it would work. And the representative from Sony privately has some ideas of what donation themes have been with other villages, and I suggested you guys everyone. I don't know what they are. She speaks to you guys about that anyway, so you know what that factor is. And I think that's all. Oh, I also spoke to her about the time frame. Of course, somebody wanted it yesterday. But I also respect that there's a process, and if there are, you know, members of the trustee or the legal team for the village that need to be consulted over the next few days, I certainly respect that. And if that's how, you know, the process needs to work, but of course, it has to be. I want everything to be transparent and understood by everyone. So.
Thank you, Ms. Lopkowitz. Anybody online? Second opportunity for public comments before we move on. Seeing no hands, Deputy Mayor, any further comments? Trustee Turner, no comments. Okay, at this point in time, the board is going to enter into executive session. I make a motion that we enter into executive session for the purpose of receiving advice from the village attorney regarding construction of a statute, as well as issues involving possible litigation with a third party. And do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll stop the recording and we'll excuse you from the room, Ms. Lopkowitz and ma'am, so we can discuss this.
Hold on, I have to.
All right.
That's the room.
Well, we should have moved that. We'll make a motion to move out of executive session, even though we should have done that before you. We're back on?
You're on, sir.
Okay, I make a motion that we move out of executive session. Do I have a second? Second by trustee Turner. All in favor?
Aye.
Right, okay. As a result of our discussions in the executive session, we have two resolutions relating to water bills and requests for relief under the formula that the village board instituted earlier this year or late last year. I make a motion that we utilize the formula as previously stated with respect to the first quarter 2026 water bill at I have to use the name Beerish Residence on Nursery Road in the town. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Turner, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The second resolution is I move that we use the accepted formula with respect to relief from high water bills based on leaks with respect to 1 Brook Farm Road. And do I have a second?
Second.
Second by the deputy mayor, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I make a motion that this meeting be adjourned. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all very much. Have a
you.
good night.
Have a good night.